I'm Amanda. Welcome to the podcast. Join me as I gently encourage aspiring artists to be brave, confident, and original. Let's get started. Hey there. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about how to make art that sells. It's kind of a tricky question, and I'm sure there are lots of opinions about this out there, but I'm going to give you 4 tips and some reasons why I believe these are great tips for you to begin with when you're thinking about moving from the hobby side of things and more into the business side of things. So you probably know, if you've been following me, or you may not know, this may be the first thing that you've ever heard from me. I did not begin with a business in mind. When I started painting, I was just painting for the fun of it, and it just sort of evolved and organically turned into what I have today, which is a website and 2 membership groups where I teach painting classes and some studio sessions, which are individual painting classes that you can purchase. I host workshops online. I sell my original paintings. I sell prints of my paintings. I have licensing deals with other companies. So it has really grown into something that I could not have imagined when I first painted the very first thing that I tried. And it wasn't really that long ago. It was only about, maybe about 10 years ago now, or getting close to that. But when I started painting, I wasn't thinking I'm going to make something that I want to sell. I just started painting because I enjoyed it, and it was something that was fun. It was a hobby, and I really, really wanted to do it. And that's really where you need to begin. Number 1, if you want to make art that sells, you've got to love this. You've got to really, really, really love to paint. Because once you get to the point where it is a business and this is something that you are depending on as far as your financial stability, this has to continue to be something that you want to do. So you've got to want to do this. You've really got to enjoy painting, and you've got to practice a lot. So number 1, I would say you've got to practice, and you've got to enjoy that practice. So painting lots and lots of different kinds of things, painting things that are pushing you outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Just paint every day if possible. Find a little bit of time in your day and just paint as much as possible. Right now I have something going on. It's a project that I've started myself just for my own practice, my own creative practice, and it is called 100 Paintings for Me. So I'm painting 100 different paintings just for myself, to get back into the enjoyment of it, and for my own creative skill building and my own creative practice building, and to help myself to get better at what I do. So if you want to make art that sells, number 1, you need to practice. And I would say paint daily, paint as many things as you possibly can, and try as many different things as you can possibly try. Use different mediums, try a still life, try something that's moving, try an animal. Just try different things and really practice getting to know what you are really good at. Number 2, I would say, is to believe in your artwork. Believe that what you are creating is good. It is beautiful. It is something that you are proud of, because once you turn this into a business, you're not going to have someone else doing that for you. When you are a self-employed professional artist selling your work, whether it's online or in a booth somewhere or in a gallery somewhere. You've got to have enough confidence in what you can do and really love your work enough to promote it. I know this is kind of hard. It's really hard for me when you say promote it, because you don't want to feel salesy. You don't want to feel slimy or yucky about all of this. So you've got to be authentic, and you've got to really, really be confident that what you're making is good. So if you believe that what you're doing is good and beautiful and worthy of being sold, then it's going to show in the words that you use to describe it, in the way that you present it to others, and it's going to attract people who want to collect the beautiful things that you're making. So number 2, you've got to believe in your own work. You've got to make sure that what you're creating is something that you love, that you're confident about, and that you can really talk about in a natural and organic way to promote it, to build it up, to make sure that it is appreciated by other people. It has to be appreciated by you first. Okay, my next tip would be get really clear on your style. And this is something that it may change, it may evolve, it may completely be split. You may have some things that you create in watercolor that are a certain style, and then you have something that you create with oils that looks totally different. But the distinction is what needs to be there. There needs to be a distinct way that someone can look at a piece of art that has been created and know that it is yours. So, this is one of my pet peeves. Originality is going to make you stand out. Originality is going to appeal to people who want to purchase and collect your art. And originality is going to help you to get licensing deals. It's going to help you to make your website stand out and look better and different from other people's. The uniqueness that you can bring to your own artwork is going to be the thing that will catapult your business and help you to grow more than anything else. And that's one reason why I kind of harp on this a lot. Originality, finding your style, using your unique voice, your talents, your experiences, and put all of that into your work, because that is one thing that's really going to help you to make art that sells. You can sell things that you've learned from someone else if they have allowed you permission to do so, but it's not really going to be art that is created from your heart and from your experience, and it's not going to be the very best art that you can create. In my workshop called Creative Wings, which is opening up again September 28th, so you guys get ready for that if you're interested. We went through this with a group of artists. Let's see, when was that? It was back in August, the beginning of or middle of August. We went through this workshop together, and I helped them to see how unique and different their own ideas are, and their way of creating things, and their style, and what they can accomplish. And I got some really great feedback from that workshop. So if that's something that you're interested in, then be watching for that, because it's going to be opening up again very soon. But originality is very important to me. It's really it's really one of the core values of my own business. I want to make work that is original. I want to make things for others. I want to put things out into the world that are different. And when you make that your goal and you put that together with practice and finding ways that you can create things that are really good work, and then you feel really confident about that work, then you're going to make art that sells. You're going to be able to create beautiful things, wonderful things, highly esteemed and valued creations that other people will want to buy from you and hang in their own home or give as gifts. So, number one, make sure you're practicing. Number two, practice and get to a point where you are confident that you're making things that are good. Number three, get really clear on what your style is. And number four, I would say, always be willing to learn new things. Don't ever get to a point where you feel like you just want to stop because there's always something new that you can add to whatever it is that you are creating and make it better. I am constantly learning. I learn from other artists. I learn from my own experiences. I learn from classes that I have taken. I learn from so many different, there are just so many different ways that you can learn and add to what you're already doing. So when I say that you need to find your style, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to begin painting apples in a certain way and that is the way you will paint them for the rest of your life. No, that's not it at all. You need to find ways that you can better whatever it is that you're creating. So, for example, I really like to paint with a palette knife, but recently I've been pushing myself to try different things, to try painting with a brush more often, and then add some elements of palette knife work in with it. And I really like the way it's turning out. Does it look completely different from what I usually paint with a knife? No, it doesn't look completely different, but the majority of the flowers that I've been painting lately, they look better because I'm allowing myself to use the brush and the knife when I'm creating them. So always be willing to learn new things and try new things, and don't stop learning. So I hope this was a little bit helpful to you. It gave you a little bit of a beginning point, maybe a place to start. And if you are a hobbyist, if this is, something that you do as a hobby and you paint just for the fun of it, then keep practicing. If you want to get to a point where you are able to sell your artwork, the practice that you're doing right now is going to be the foundation of everything in the future. So, just like in my creative community, we have a flight path, is what I call it, for all artists of all levels, we'll say. So if you're a beginner, then you're probably doing step-by-step lessons and you're learning the basics, and that is the foundation in the beginning where we all started. Then you may start getting a little bit more confident and adding in some things that you just want to try. Then you may gain even more confidence, become even more brave, and experiment with different mediums and different ideas. And then you may get to a point where you are completely confident in what you're creating and you are ready to sell that work. I gave you 4 different ways to help you get started with making art that sells. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I will talk to you again next time.